morning here at GingerMan. Step number one every morning is to get a breakfast chorizo wrap burrito or whatever. Dude, it's so freaking good. Alright guys, not gonna lie, the pin jack mod, best mod I've done in a while. It's nice. You're going down, Matan. Last year you might have won, but not this year.
Who has more wins?
You do, but not this weekend.
Who didn't drive yesterday that hasn't been here?
Alright, drivers meeting complete. Getting ready for practice one. Yeah, we got all the ASM boys here this weekend for T3. Yeah, a lot of fast S2000s. So, Lennon Chin, Dana Bazinski, they're all gonna be pretty fast this weekend. So, pretty stacked field. Jeremy Swenson, he used to race with us, but now he's a drifter. Kind of lame. I'm just kidding, he's awesome. A few setup changes to the car last night. I went with slightly stiffer rear springs. I went from 160 to 180. Not that big of a bump, but I ran 180s most of last season. Yeah, I just think the main issue I'm having right now is that I think the rear tire is bottoming out to the tubs. And I've been increasing the ride height quite a bit after each session just because I like to put tape. How's it going? I like to put tape in the wheel wells to kind of see where I'm at. And if it's rubbing, then I'll raise it or add packer. But anyway, yeah, it's a small setup change. And then that's pretty much it. Yeah, just gonna go out for practice. We got one more practice this morning. And then we go straight into qualifying and then race one later tonight. Yeah, feeling pretty good. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good about the car. Yesterday it was pretty solid. So let's get it done.
Practice session number 3, or I guess first practice officially. This one will be live time, so it'll be interesting to see where everyone else stacks up. Should have top 5 pace. Anymore. Car's good, feels good. I think this ring change helped. Car rotates where I want it to. It pivots really well. I'm happy with the car. I'm not gonna run any more laps. Like I said, I feel like I don't really need to do any more than that. I know what the car's gonna do. I know this track very well. No need to put extra wear and tear on the chassis.
Yeah, like I said, 2 laps. First was like a 40.4, and then the second lap was a 38.7. New personal best once again in the sedan. And that was a pretty easy lap. Wasn't really pushing that hard. And guess what? P1 overall. Feels pretty awesome just to kind of get out there and run that flyer and set it P1 overall and call it a day. Let's just come off track, you know, just drop the mic. But no, yeah, car feels good. The spring change, I think it definitely helped. I got nothing to change on the car. I got nothing to do on the car. Brakes feel phenomenal. The ABS is working. It's working real good. Like, I've never braked that deep into the last corner or, you know, 10, you know, the first corner, turn 3, all these heavy braking zones. That ABS is really coming into play. So I'm pumped. We are sitting P1 overall. 42 cars in the field, a lot of stiff competition. First time the sedan has been in the 38s, 38.7. It's a good feeling. That's a real good feeling. The car is hooked up. Qualifying is in 5 hours. So I think I'm just going to maybe take a nap. I got nothing to do. I'm bored. Senna's just been chilling. Car's been chilling. My dad's been chilling. Corvette boys next to me have been real nice. They've been awesome. So yeah, that's the update for today. And then qualifying up next in a really long time. For you guys, it'll be like 5 minutes, not even. Probably the next clip will be me qualifying.
track was green, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna pass all these people because I'm not even gonna get a fucking lap in. So dumb.
All right, that was a mess of a qualifying session, but yeah, on top of all the mess that happened in the qualifying, everybody went through tech, and top 3 all are going on the dyno, so I'm next. But yeah, I was a little frustrated because, man, the track's green, and we're going 20 miles per hour. And I'm in a car of like 15, or a train of like 15 cars, like all the way in the back of that train. And there's cars that have had the green flag for a solid minute coming up to us, right? And we're going 20 miles per hour. And everybody's swerving, trying to build themselves a gap like it's F1. And like, I'm like, no, I'm going. You know, I'm trying to get a freaking lap in this qualifying session because you never know. These sessions get ruined so fast, as you saw. And I don't know. Yeah, just really frustrated with that session. You know, there's a car parked on the front straight. Like, if you're gonna have an issue with your car, get off the damn track. Didn't even see him. But yeah, and then the car that oiled down turn 1, almost lost it. Luckily I saved it, didn't crash into Matt Wallbaum, but what a mess of a session. P3. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. P3's good. I really wish I had more time to run good laps because I think I could have got, you know, onto the pole. But anyway, I'm definitely going to do a few setup changes to the car. Let me think about that. Let's deal with this dyno situation first. I know, my car is loud. I'm sorry. All right, so a lot of drama in that practice session. Looks like I got protested for passing under a yellow, but I definitely didn't because I knew the track was full course green. So yeah, no penalty there. It looks like I also got released from tech, so no issues. So that means P3 start for race 1. Sun's coming down a little bit, but it is 72 degrees. Track conditions probably not the best, so I think that's gonna do, that's gonna be pretty good for my car. I'm hoping that I can bring it to these V8s in front of me. So we got Matan in second, and then we got Eric Magnuson in the gold BMW. The BMW that I was stuck behind at Road Atlanta for the entirety of the first race. But yeah, it should be a good race. So I'm excited. Car's feeling good. I did 1 click stiffer on the rear sway bar, get it to rotate a little bit more in these slippery conditions. So hopefully that helps. Oh, also somehow lost the front corner light. So we ended up replacing it with just one of my black blanks. So got a black eye for race 1, but I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, let's do it. Let's try to get some wins. Walk in the paddock, taking videos of some cool cars. Unfortunately, there was a Supra that just caught on fire because of the battery. These modern batteries are scary, man. Once they catch on fire, it is hard to put them out. But I think the car is okay. I think the safety crew at GingerMan, they're awesome. They came in hot to get that fire out. But anyway, everybody's okay. I think the car will survive. Maybe some burned wiring. I don't know. It didn't look too bad, but yeah, pretty scary situation.
GridLife Midwest Festival is just a coming together of the best in grassroots and amateur racing. This is the big one. Midwest Festival, the 12th year. There's so much new this weekend with a new festival layout, even more fans than we're even used to, and a packed field of IBOC GLTC competitors. IBOC GLTC was the first wheel-to-wheel championship that GridLife introduced in 2019, and this weekend, these races have become the pinnacle of the series. And Kyle Heyer joined by Ito Waxman. Ito, this is the beginning of a 4-race mini championship here this weekend with so many names and faces that we're familiar with, some that have come out of the woodwork just for this event, some that are championship front runners. There's so much to talk about for even just a 15-minute race. Because the championship battle has been so fierce this season between two of our perpetual front runners, Eric Catil in the number 82 Hybridracing EG and Matan Rosenberg in the Falcon 484 Corvette. They come into this weekend 1 point different. You get 25 points a race, so that's how tight things are at the moment. Eric Catil, 169 points, 8 starts, 3 wins to Matan Rosenberg's 8 starts, 4 wins. The only other driver to win a race this season was James Houghton back race 4 at Road Atlanta. So that championship battle is going to be talked about quite a bit. The third driver, though, in that championship equation at the moment is Eric Magnuson, who's on pole for this race, though, Ito.
It's going to be really interesting to see. Some would argue that this is more similar to CMP, where Eric Catil dominated. So we'll see how Eric stays on the back or passes Matan throughout this race, both of them behind Eric Magnuson. Yeah,
the story behind this car runs several seasons deep, but Eric Catil has spent a lot of time in the offseason finding reliability improvements after a 2024 season that started out on the right foot and then just progressively went further and further downhill. It was so frustrating to watch and certainly frustrating for him. But battling against a driver like Matan Rosenberg, those two have a lot of respect for each other, but things get heated as far as the level of competition. So are these going to be the drivers at the front, or is Eric Magnuson going to pick their pocket? Are out on the safety car. And GridLife Midwest Festival, the site of the second ever IBOC GLTC race in 2019, is going to host the first race of 4 this weekend for the premier GridLife Wheel-to-Wheel Racing Championship. Eric Magnuson in the gold BMW on the front row, alongside the 484 Matan Rosenberg. We're going to get the green flag at the further flag stand down here towards turn 1, waiting for the green flag to fly. There it goes. We're underway. IBOC GLTC at GingerMan, and Midwest Festival is green.
Yeah, Matan stuck it out on the outside of Magnuson. Magnuson chose the inside line of 1, and now he's going to be stuck on the outside of Matan as he gets more overlap, and he outdrives him on the exit of 2.
Through turn 2 now, it's really tight. Look at this 3 wide here. Joe Morrison's in the middle. Jonathan Hu got up wide. There's a little bit of smoke coming from one car there. It wasn't the 2 of Eric Grimm. And for the lead, here comes the 44 to the inside. He's managed to keep the overlap, leaving turn 3, and they're still side by side for the lead, down to 5.
Yeah, and they're still side by side on the second row as well, but now Eric has pulled the gap out. Matan remains overlap, or maintains overlap on Eric Magnuson into 5.
Tight squeeze here for everybody to sort of track narrows up a little bit. Double apex left-hander into 6, now up to 7, where you have to ride that rim here. Who's going to come out ahead as they make their way through that corner?
Still 3 wide back there, coming out of 6.
And they're still side by side for the lead, but Magnuson is going to have it for now. See if Rosenberg can tuck up underneath. He cannot. Now Magnuson holds the lead in the gold M3.
And now that leaves the space for Eric to come in. As those two slow each other up and defend against each other, Eric's going to come in. He's licking his chops trying to get into this fight.
Eddie Smedegaard there in the 212. We'll keep an eye on him in the FA24 swap FRS, the black car running P4. That's a very strong start for that car. I think it's the highest we've really seen it run.
Yeah, that's a really impressive start from Andy Smedegaard. Right behind him, Paul Darling right behind Smedegaard as well.
Yeah, overtaking is always challenging here at GingerMan Raceway. It's a narrow racetrack.
throughout this next lap, and Magnussen has opened up a huge gap to Matan, who's now going into the clutches of Eric Coutil behind him.
Yeah, he has not won a race before, and he's on the biggest stage in GridLife. He's on the biggest stage in grassroots road racing at the moment, and Coutil is reeling in Rosenberg. So the battle might be for second, and side by side here for Meadows and Smedegaard for fourth. In. Here's the battle for second, Matan Rosenberg and Eric Coutil. And just this easily, with this position swap, this changes the championship lead. Now we still have 3 more races after this, but this is how tight things are. One position over the other swaps the season-long championship battle. Eric Coutil is a past champion, 2020. Matan Rosenberg, your reigning champion from last year. Jeremy Swenson beat him to 2 championships, but someone else would like to join him up on the multi-champion position in this IBOC GridLife Touring Cup Championship.
Now, the interesting thing will be is whether Eric is going to back out and try and set a fast lap, because the next race is set by fastest lap time in this race. So we'll see if they're going to play that strategy. Both of them, Matan is pretty disconnected from Magnussen, so he's probably going to try and cool a little bit of his car down and try and get that fast lap.
And one more lap to go. White flag for Eric Magnussen. 2.2 miles left to pick up his first ever IBOC GLTC win. Can Rosenberg hang on to second, because Coutil is coming?
Yeah, absolutely. And throughout the field, it looks like they've kind of gapped themselves a little bit more. Tony Martin.
Been denied victory a number of times. It will not be today. The gold BMW from second on the, actually pole on the field, comes across the line, wins an IBOC GLTC for the second and third, and here comes the rest of the field in the last corner. Matt Waldbaum and Tony. GLTC race 1. That was a fun one. Eric Magnussen gets it done by 0.8 of a second in this 9-lap race. Eric Catil, Eric Meadows, Andy Smedegard, your top 5, chasing Matan Rosenberg, who was P2. Then Darling, Waldbaum, Marchev, Basinski, and on debut, top 10 for Blake Korth.
Yeah, great drive from Blake Korth in that.
Yeah. I was like, none of us are gaining on each other. No. I thought I'd maybe have something for you guys near the end, but... You guys started running out of rear tires near the end.